This is River Roaring, celebrating the luminous life force in us all. Hello, darling. This is River Roaring. You're listening to the episode Off Planet Wisdom. My journey with UFOs, ETs, and the multidimensional life. This is part 2. Tune into part 1 if you want to find out how my mind was blown so many times in the beginning of this journey. And I hope you find this story useful. So where we were is that my friend, the medium, who's really a very close friend now, gave me a reading, and I learned so much about myself that I will call the unseen part of me, and how many guides and how much support I have in other dimensions, and a lot better idea of how big and powerful I am interdimensionally. And we all are. I'm just telling my own story. We're all insanely powerful, infinite light beings, I've come to conclude. So here I am, and my other friend is saying, hey, by the way, I'm into this other book. You might like it. It's called Bringers of the Dawn, Teachings from the Pleiadians. So I think I'll put a book list with links underneath this podcast or this show. Bringers of the Dawn is our next book I take in. It's in Audible. Teachings from the Pleiadians. It's a pretty big classic. So this one is a classic. At the same time I'm going into the books, I'm also realizing people can speak with the people on the other side and our mediums, and I'm also tracking down people here in Austin who actually already are into this and already meeting about it. And I was finding people. There are lots of groups in Austin. And so it's quite another, what I'll call subculture. It was reminiscent of when I found the kink culture 20 years ago in Austin. I'm like, what? Anyway, Austin Spiritual Awakening is a meetup that you have to, I think, get on Facebook to find. It's called Austin Spiritual Awakening. Beautiful group run by Tiana Roser, and they get together, once a month, at least right now, in person in Austin, Texas. And you can be really open about all this stuff. And that's such a great group to just go, hey, what else exists? To all the folks there. And they'll be like, oh, well, there's this, there's that. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm finding people in Austin who are gathering different groups. They're talking about these off-planet things and really into it, learning more, sharing books, sharing ideas, sharing what we know, comparing notes on life in the multi-dimensions. So Bringers of the Dawn is channeled work. So now we're into the whole world of channeled work. And the main thing that really tells me the most is when I get to know somehow the person who's speaking. Maybe I know them, or maybe I hear them online. I hear them speak. I hear them. I talk, and I follow them, and I listen to them for a while. And it comes through to me, there is no possible way this human being I'm listening to right now could have made up what they're saying they channeled. It's happened many, 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 many times. It's like, I think that sometimes the channeled voices do it on purpose to be like, I'm going to come through someone who could not have made this up. It's just not possible with their life experience and who they are, how they talk, their outlook on life, the way they speak, the words they use, their colloquialisms. And then this other message comes through that's channeled. That's like, whoa, this is definitely spoken by another person. And I just invite you, every time you see a channeled work, to again just feel in your own gut, does this feel true? And what I've found as I've listened to the channeled works I'm about to list out for you and just give you a quick very quick synopsis of, which is an insanely awesome list. What I've found is that all the voices, it's kind of like here on earth, like they're singing similar songs. They're actually saying, they are triangulating. You know, this one is saying it in that wording and that one's saying it in that wording, but it is the same thing they're saying. And this one is using that wording in this perspective because of where they're at, but they are actually talking about the same thing. And everything harmonizes in to a very loving and beautiful outlook of the universe. And so I hope that my story is helpful to really get a feel for, and then to take your own journey into the beauty and transcendent that's available to us by being able to open up to the other dimensional beings that want to help and support us in becoming a higher level of love and light, and just more love. That's that's who I'm listening to out there in the other world, off planet. And it's powerful and beautiful. The message itself, in other words, speaks for itself. At some point, it doesn't matter if it's called channeled work or not. I guess that's where I'm trying to get at the end of this day, on this point of channeled, the question of channeled work. At some point, when you really take in a lot, as I've taken in a lot of it, I've realized, actually, it doesn't matter if anyone says this is channeled or not. This is just great spiritual material. It's epic. It's so timeless, so beautiful. So here are basically the books that I have now gone through, and I'll give you a super quick summary. They're pretty much, I'm looking down the list, I think 100% channeled works at this point. Everything I'm about to talk about now, channeled work. First one, Bringers of the Dawn, is, like I said, classic. It's been out for decades, and it's the Pleiadians speaking through a woman talking to us about what's going on in the Earth and the human place in the whole galaxies and universe and timelines. And of course, they also speak about this veil, or you could call it prison. I like to think of it as just the veils of forgetting and confusion, and all the darkness that we have around us. And then the next one I went to is a book called Activate Your Cosmic DNA. Discover Your Starseed Family. And that one is really about researching your own soul's history of which star system or planet system you come from. And so Discover Your Starseed Family, Activate Your Cosmic DNA, is a story about 5 to 10 different types of star system beings and what they're like. And it's kind of like, which one do you feel like you're, closest to, if you want to do it that way. But it is saying, like, these beings are from this star system and they're like this. These beings are from this star system, they're like this. So I thought that was interesting, and also that woke me up to, like, oh, I guess I might be a starseed as well. I might come from a different star system and come to Earth into this body for a reason. And then I was lingering with that question, right? And I come to the mother of the mothers. This one is I just love this work so much. It's called The Raw Contact, R.A. The Raw Contact, the R.A. Raw Contact. Teaching the Law of One, Volumes 1 and 2. Raw Contact, Teaching the Law of One, Volumes 1 and 2. My heart goes pitter-patter because I love this work so much. I love these books. This one is on also. All these are on, so far all these are on Audible. And they're long. Volume 1 and 2 are long. This one is a channeled work that came down in the 80s through a woman I think she was mostly always in Kentucky. And 3 people were the keys of bringing that voice down. And it is a very high density, high level voice. It's very difficult to come down into earth, at least at that time for sure. And there were 103 sessions where Ra spoke through Carla, and each one is transcribed in these books. Teach the Ra. This one is about the law of one. And for me, the law of one today reigns over all systems of all kinds, all dimensions, all galaxies, all high and low systems, the law of one. And it's simply that we are all one, and we're on our way back to unity with the one infinite creator. We are all one, and everything else is an illusion and what they call a distortion. So this one hit me hard. I love it. It's just opened me to new levels of beauty in the universe. I find it just absolutely stunningly beautiful, so much that I am in the local Austin Law of One study group, and I love those human beings. And I, for the first time, will be actually going to Kentucky this year later, if all goes as planned, to be with a Law of One homecoming gathering of people from around the country, at least, who are into the Law of One. And it is just a very beautiful teaching. I highly recommend. It's all about coming into love as the most important thing. And there's really nothing else that is important. So it's kind of like, just be love and know the unity of all. But then it goes into all these other very simple and practical and awesome ways of looking at the universe. Is this the one that told me, yeah, possession and control is dark side? That's what dark side is. And light side is love and light. That's it. It's that simple. Anyway, highly recommend the Raw Contact teachings of the Law of One, Volume 1 and 2. That was a deep dive and blew me out in so many directions with everything they say in there. It's full of is beautiful information. And then come to the epic tale. A book called Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. Oh my goodness, this book is also on Audible. And is that right? Yeah, it is. It is on Audible. And oh my goddess, such a beautiful story of human beings. Early on, it's the story of Anna, the grandmother of Jesus. And she tells the story basically through a channel. And it turns out Anna had a more regular human lifespan back then, one that was attainable, of 900 years. And she tells all of that and tells what her life was like. She was very, very deeply spiritual, a very high level priestess, and many, of course, over all those years, lineages. And she and others, which she tells the whole story, set up an elaborate hundreds of years plan that was ever growing and building on itself, with different people involved and different rituals and rites and practices and different off-planet beings that were creating the environment for Jesus Christ to come down and be with Mary Magdalene, and together change the universe from an intergalactic, interdimensional perspective, through ritual and literal work with light and love and practices. And I just really feel like it's the true story. Way. I mean, it's not even, the Bible has some interesting history and symbolism, but no. It's this is the actual story. It's just beautiful. It's touching. It's unbelievable highs and lows and beauty in the story. I highly recommend Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. There's just so much in that one. And then the sequel to that is not on Audible. So that one I have read in the book form, Anna, the Voice of the Magdalens. And that's a great work where the same channel from Anna, Grandmother of Jesus, channels this one. Anna speaks through her. And on this one, Anna has a bunch of different people from that community speak. And so we get the story directly from Anna, but then we get their short pieces of the book that are directly from the people who were all around Yeshua, which was his name then, Yeshua, rather than Jesus. And so according to her, and that does he speak? I think he speaks too. And Mary certainly speaks. Mary Magdalene and other wives of his and children of his speak in this book. It's quite beautiful, so gorgeous. And they just tell the story of uh, their spiritual experiences together as a coordinated spiritual community, and that how they changed the trajectory of Earth and us and our lives. It's just truly astounding. Then I come across the Sophia Code. This is on Audible. The Sophia Code. Oh yeah, baby, this is an awesome book. And this is a great example for me. When I spend time online with the author, it's like, no, I don't think she could have possibly said those things. She channels down, I think, 7 ascended master voices who are females. And she channels down, I hope I can say all of them right. I know 6 of them for sure. She channels, one chapter, she channels the voice of Hathor, who was a predecessor in the lineages to Isis. Another chapter, she channels down Isis. Also one for Mary Magdalene, one for White Buffalo Woman, one for Guan Yin, one for Mother Mary, and the other one was Green Tara. And then she wraps it up with the actual dragons. And boy, is this one gorgeous. This one is so beautiful to hear the detailed stories of each one of these beings' life. And each one of these beings, I think 6 of the 8 or 7 of the 8 were, or 6 of the 7 or 5 of the 7 were humans first. And they tell the story. I was a human being. I was a human being just like you. And here's what I did, and here's what I did on earth. And I reached these spiritual heights and transcended to these far higher other levels. And you can too. And it's a beautiful voice of these different gorgeous women who came before us. And they each also offer a practice where they take you deep into a meditation, and you work with each one of them in their own meditation. It's just stunning. Highly recommend it. And the next ones I've started looking at are a book called Mary Magdalene Beckons, and it's book 1. This is book 1 of several. I think I'm in the second one, but this first one is called Mary Magdalene Beckons, and this one is on Audible, and then the subsequent ones are not on Audible at this point. Here we are with just another set of stories from Mary Magdalene, straight from her mouth, which are just stunning. Highly recommend it. And then the next book by that author that I'm into right now is not on Audible. I'm reading it. That always takes me a lot longer. And it's well worth having in print. It's called Sublime Union. Sublime Union. And Sublime Union is a book where Mary Magdalene is channeling through down, and she's giving a very specific practice set for sacred sexual energy practices, beginning to end. So this book is very practical, in addition to being Mary's voice. And then I've actually read I have on Audible the Premonition Code. Actually, I don't recommend this one. I didn't enjoy it as much. But it is for you if you are interested in developing your own intuitive ability to remote view things. It has like a little method in there of developing your own remote viewing skill. For me, that's just not my top thing, so it wasn't my favorite book. And then I went into a book called The Pleiadian Agenda. I highly recommend. It's on Audible. Pleiadian Agenda. And that book is awesome. And it's just, hey, I decided I'm a Pleiadian and I'm going to tell y'all everything about your species, your planet, the history, the future, where you're headed, what's going on right now, why everything looks crazy to you. It is so full of information, interdimensional information. It's just a guidebook of just so much facts and so much information. The Pleiadian Agenda. And then the second book I've also taken in by that author, it's called The Alchemy of Nine Dimensions. Pretty sure that's the title there. The Alchemy of Nine Dimensions. Excellent follow up to the Pleiadian Agenda. If you're just into like, what? How does all this insane physics work? And how many dimensions are there? And how many planetary realms? And where's our planet in relation to other star systems? And why are the Pleiadians paying so much attention to us? It's because we're in their star system. And really fun and awesome information. And so there is, I think, where I'm at with the book journey right now. I'm trying to think if there's another one happening. And at the same time, I've been talking to people in Austin, going to groups, meeting people who talk about these kind of things, either from any perspective, from the perspective of I've seen a UFO and a being, to this perspective of I'm trying to learn to channel right now, because we're getting higher powers right now on Earth from other dimensions. It's a big, big story. I'm just trying to tell the story of how I woke up to this. But there are people developing out these powers, bringing in more love and light, raising our own bodies into the light bodies we will become if we continue the ascension process. So if we move ourselves into more love and light, we will eventually, not that far from now, my understanding is, our bodies are going to shift. We are in an epic earth shift time right now. That's why every religion is like, it's apocalypse time. You know, they've got their own versions of it, but almost everybody is agreeing like it's going down. This shit's going down. It's really going down, as Matt Sanzala would say. It's really going down. So our earth is shifting very quickly now. We're either going to hang on or we're not. And all of this information, I think, is at this point important to know. I have followed and had readings from other mediums or channels or people who can go to both sides. I've had my own Akashic record reading that's very detailed, telling me which star system I'm from and what my galactic masteries were in other lifetimes and other dimensions, so that I can know what I could build on here, and also what my lessons are and what my, and that hit very true for me. Like, yeah, that's what we all came here and set up a life on Earth that would force us to learn certain lessons, basically, or that we would have an opportunity to learn certain lessons. And I set mine up perfectly. And I've been learning those lessons. And I've also started working with teachers who are teaching energetic practices. And I call my one teacher the Hogwarts teacher, because she's literally showing me how to use my interdimensional my abilities. And it turns out I actually do have a lot of them. And I am really, really working a lot every day on developing them. You could say I'm working on my witch and wizard skills at Harry Potter's Hogwarts. Having an awesome, insane, fun time doing it, understanding how to work with other dimensions, a lot deeper levels. All of my previous spiritual work is consistent. Toltec, Satyananda Yoga Path, Kundalini, Tantra, the Tao. All of these are fully compatible with the law of one and the way these channeled voices are talking about the universe working. And I'd say the most exciting part of it all is that if you can tell things are changing right now pretty fast, they are. It's actually changing faster and faster. It's going to keep changing faster and faster. And there's an opportunity here to rise really high. And there's an opportunity to rise really high, really fast because of how fast things are moving. And I hope that just listening to my journey will open you to your own journey. I don't want you to take mine, and I don't want you to end up believing the same things I believe. I have no stake in that. That would be control and possession, wouldn't it? I just want love and light for you. So I'm on earth to support those who are called to bring maximum love and light into their lives. Liberated self-expression in all realms, where all is sacred. Connecting with you to create a cosmic web of love and light throughout the realms. And I want to hear from you. So to leave a comment here or shoot me an email by visiting my site at riverroaring.com and clicking Get Started to share your question, reflection, or insight. Together, we can step into a more harmonious vibration. We can fly higher, shifting human consciousness forever for the highest good of all beings. May the love be with you, and may the love be with us all.